Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, it is 8:26. Make sure you have. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, it is 8:26. Make sure you have. Hello, welcome, welcome. Okay. So let's see. I'm trying something new here. Hey, Jackie, what is going on? I'm trying something new here. I am going to be on Zoom and YouTube. So we're going to see how this works. This is our first time doing dual live streamings. So we're going to see. We're going to see how this thing works. As you know, I'm going to get started promptly at 8:30. So make sure you have your pencil, your paper, your pad, your Etch-a-Sketch, whatever it is that you take notes on. Make sure that you have it. Make sure you have your homework, which is the printable version of your strategist, right? That is the C category, the printable version of your strategist. So make sure that you have that as well. We're going to be looking at that because that's going to help you for today. Okay. So in a few more minutes, we are going to get started. And I am going to see. Okay. All right. If you have any questions during the webinar, as always, make sure you put it in the Q&A section of your screen, or you can place it right in the chat. And at the end of the webinar, I will definitely go over all of your questions, comments, and concerns. I have a lot for you guys this evening. So 1 more minute till showtime. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hello, everyone. It is 8:30 on the dot Eastern Standard Time, and you guys know how I like to get started on time because your time is precious to me. So I hope you guys have your pen, your paper, you're taking copious notes, and that you guys have your homework. So last night, your homework was to, pick a plan. Which route would you go to? So far, I have taught you guys how to use the reduction method. I've taught you guys how to involve business income and to use some of those tax deductions, those 475 tax deductions in your income shifting methods, right? So what more possibly can I show you? Well, guys, this software that we have is magnificent. It has so much more than the strategist, and I'm getting ready to show you what that looks like. So let's jump in and get started. As always, if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the Q&A, or you can put it directly in the chat, and I will get to that at the end of our webinar. So day 4, write this down. Day 4, financial forecasting and allocation of funds. Financial forecasting and allocation of funds. So judging from the picture, you kind of know where I'm hinting at, right? But first things first, tonight you're going to create a financial forecast, and I'm going to explain what that is, beginning in April. You're going to use information from your debt elimination section of your strategist to create your parameters. You're going to input what you have paid already for April. And if you have time, because it is a lot, if you have time between the end of this webinar and tomorrow at 8:30, if you have time, put in the information that you have for January through March. And then, of course, place your takeaways in the group. So let's begin with this lingo, right? What is financial forecasting and allocation of funds? So to be honest, guys, I don't like the word budget, all right? I think that's like a curse word right up there with the word loan, right? Those things have a negative connotation. I know when I think of budget, I think of box, right? I'm putting in this little box and I can't move. I don't have any room. So I like to say financial forecasting. And tracking a budget is what I like to call the allocation of funds. All right. So whenever you hear me say financial forecasting, allocation of funds, it's budget and budget tracking. Okay. So now that I have my financial plan, what now? What now? Where do you go now? That's a great question. So I'm going to answer that for you. So as it concerns your manager, so you are here. You've done your A, your B, and you printed out your C. So this is what I want you to do. Where it says your A, this is the section we're going to be focused on, your reoccurring monthly expenses. So now that we have a plan, we have to track it. We have to have a financial forecast as into, what's going on in our months. So as it concerns your manager, you are going to go to where it says cash flow manager. And you're going to click on it. Now, also in this tool, what it does is it gives you a cash flow manager list. So you can calculate your cash flow, how much money is coming in, how much money is going out. That is our goal. We want to be better cash flow managers, right? But we need to write it down. And sometimes paper and pencil doesn't do it. A software can actually pop out those numbers. And if you're like me, who has a degree in English or not a math person, yeah, this is the best thing. So you would, as always, you will create a new cash flow manager and you would give it a name, okay? You will select if it is business or personal. And then you're going to come to this screen right here. So it has enter your new income, enter your new expense, enter and edit, your financial forecast, view and edit recurring things, view and edit your income, view and edit your expenses, your preferences, and your receipts. So the whole point of this is because we are business owners and we decided that money that makes money is better than your time for money, and leveraging people is a better building block to wealth than your time for money. We chose to be business owners. Now, what type of business owner you want to be, that's all on you. But again, I'm in the business of education. And with this, you could be in a business of education too. So the first thing I want you guys to write down is cash flow manager, name, dashboard. Now, on your dashboard, I want you to enter your financial forecast. Now, it's going to say budget, but as you know, I say financial forecast. And in here, you are going to put all of your parameters. Well, where do you get these parameters? You get them from your reoccurring expenses, those things that you pay monthly. So your car expense, your children, your commissions, your children, your communications, your cell phone, your food, your gas, your rent, yourself, okay? And you would do that by adding new. And it's gonna say select type. Now, all of these expenses are in here for business owners, okay? So those 475 tax deductions that we spoke about, well, most of them are in here, Okay, so if you're a business owner, you already know that home office and those things, you know, are already in here to use as deductions. But those things like rent, your children, your tithes, your charity, those things are not in there. So you kind of have to put those in. So you would go there, hit custom expense, and you would create new. What is the name of your expense? So I'm going to put food 2, just to show you how it works. And you will hit save. Okay, see, food 2 popped up there. Now you will go back to your dashboard. Okay, so you will put in those things from your cash, from your reoccurring expenses that is not already listed. And now you want to view your expenses. So I'm gonna go back because for training purposes, I did it for last year. So you guys can see what it looks like. So I'm putting in the dates 01/01/2018 to 12/30/2018. So we're going to start with your expenses. So all of your expenses for the whole year are here. So we have our car expense, you know, how much gas, our car notes, our oil changes. Let me see if I can make it bigger so you guys can see. There you go. If a tire blew out, you know, sometimes that happens. Or if you need brakes, you put that in here. And over the course of a year, I spent $3,000 on my car, okay? Now, children, let's just say that you give your children an allowance twice a month, okay? So twice a month, you give them allowance of $50. So that's $100 a month. So you want to log all of that. Over the course of the year, you spent $1,300 on your children. Well, I'm gonna say one child. Your phone bill, $880. Food, because we got to eat every month, right? $2,900. Gas, let's say you did this every week. Okay, every week we're spending $40 on gas. All right, roughly. Some we have $20. Sometimes we spend less. Sometimes we spend more. But over the course of the year, it came out to $2,000. Now our rent over the course of a year, $13,000. Now, if you have a mortgage, you can put that in here and it'll tell you how much you spend over the course of a year. And then yourself, if you get your nails done, if you get your hair done, you put all that in there. And let's say we paid Sally Mae an average of $500 a month. So this is going to give us, in tithes and charities, our utilities, over the course of a year, we spent $34,000, okay? And let's just say we drove 275 miles, right? That's what we recorded. So what this does is it calculates everything that you are doing over the course of a year, okay? This is unheard of. We don't have any software, even if you use the banks, that tells you how much you spend over the course of a year. Now, the only downfall to a bank, I know I have Bank of America and it gives me that nice little circle and it tells me how much I spend a month, but it will categorize things wrong. If you go to Food Lion, but you pick up cat food, that's something for your pet. But because it's from Food Lion, it's just going to say food. It's going to throw it in the food category. Okay? If you go to a gas station, you pick up a bag of chips. You know, it's going to log that under gas and miles, right? So you want to be accurate. And what this tool does, it not only creates a financial plan, but it gives you a financial forecast on what's going on. And here is the beauty of it. So after you get this view and you see your expense log, you want to go to your profit and loss. Again, we're doing it for 2018. Let's say our job, we're bringing in 27. Let me make this bigger again. Our job, right? We're bringing in 2,700 a month. All right, 2,700 sounds like a fair amount of money. Well, where is all this 27 going? Well, in January, as you can see, we put in our expenses, right? In January, we paid a little bit over what we're supposed to pay for our car expense, right? Because something came up, maybe a tire blew out, or we had to get windshield wipers, something, right? An oil change. We pay our children $100 a month, right? But something came up. They had to go to a dance recital and we had to pay for something for them, or we ate out an extra time. Food, we was good there. Gas, we spent a little less. Rent is the same, something that doesn't change. You paid yourself a little less because you had to make up somewhere, recount for that money here. Student loans, something that you can't not pay, right? We didn't pay our tithes because we didn't have it, because we put our money elsewhere. And then our utilities. So we ended up spending $27.60. We were negative $60. Negative $60. But we don't know that, right? We don't have a software that can tell us this. Well, this is what this does, right? It tells us where our money is going. So let's just look at this. We get paid the same amount from January to December, right? The amount of money that we get paid at our job does not change. The only thing that changes is what we spend it on. This month, we were negative 160, negative 195, 145, 200, 100, 370. Why? Because our money is going elsewhere. It's not going to where we said we were going to stay. Okay? So our net cash flow, we're in the negatives. We're in the negative. We made $32,000, but we spent $34,000. You see how that works? And a lot of times that's why we have more month than money. So let me show you what it would look like if you decided to take me up on that proposition of being a business owner and just spreading education. Okay? Things are going to change. So let's say you take advantage of your 475 tax deductions, right? And instead of paying your children an allowance, you gave them wages, right? Now, when you travel, you can write that off as a tax deduction. Rent, you can now write off a portion of your home. Utilities, now your home office utilities is not just utilities, right? Now your home office rent or mortgage is not just your rent. Now your dues and subscriptions, things that you have to further your education, that's tax deductible. Your cell phone, a portion of your cell phone. Your children, you're not paying them like regular children, you're giving them wages. So look how I added in these business items and what it did for me on my financial forecast sheet. So if our job, we're bringing in 5,000, right? Now our commissions, we're making $250 a month. In some cases, we make 400. In May, you can see that's not wasn't a good month, right? We made less, but this money that we're making, our job plus our commission, is adding up. So now we're not in the negative. Now we have a surplus so far of money. Okay. Of course, it didn't finish out. This is just so far, but now we have money to cover and we're in the positive. So guys, for your assignment, this is what I'm asking you to do. create your own financial forecast. I want you to create your own financial forecast. And how do you do that? By going to Cash Flow Manager and creating a profile, putting in your expenses, enter new expense, selecting from the list, putting the date, the amount, the who did you pay, what did you pay them for, where did you pay them, and any notes about it. And now you can track where your money is going. So not only do you have your plan of what's coming out of your pocket every month, now you have a ledger, right? Because I don't know about you, but I don't keep no checkbooks and I don't write no checks, right? And I don't want to have to keep going to my bank statement just to figure out, where my money's going. But if I'm active in my financial planning, I'm active in my financial life, I can create my own financial forecast and stay within my allotted funds because I know that where my money is going. And guys, let me tell you something about the wealthy. They know where every penny is going. Trust me, they look at their sheets every day, maybe 3-4 times a day, right? Because they want to know where their money is going and how to track it. Well, with this software, now you have it. Now you have where your money is going. So let me show you that one more time. You'll go here, create a new cash flow manager, input your expenses, input your income. And then when you view it, now you have all the information that you need. And guys, this helps your CPA as well. So no longer will you do your taxes yourself. You can actually give this to someone and give this to your CPA and they will take care of the rest for you. All right. They know what comes off what and how it does it, right? Let me go back. All right. Also, what I want to show you guys before you go is that we have extra tools in here called a balance sheet. Now, this is the keep it real section, your balance sheet. And I know a lot of you haven't even thought about it. What is my balance sheet? I know I have my financial plan. I was just shown on how to track my information, but where do I stand? What do I have, right? Well, you would go in, hit create new, hit A, put a file name, and now it's going to ask you all of these personal questions. What's the amount that you have in your checking account? You already saw about 43% of Americans don't even have $400 in your account. What do you have in your savings? What's in your money market funds account, CDs, US Treasury bills, cash value of life insurance? Hey guys, some of you may not even have these things. Some of you might not even know what these things are. And here's what begins the education. Because if you don't know what they are and you don't have them, but you see they go on a balance sheet, do you think it's something you should have? I think so, right? Because we're trying to find out how much we have, retirement funds, personal assets. You input all these things and your liabilities. So what we were looking at was all of the assets that we have. All of these things are assets. If we don't have some, we may need to get some of these, right? And now our liability sheet. Notice how long our asset sheet is compared to our liability. But when we save it and go to B, a lot of us look like this. Our assets are less than our liabilities. So as you can see here, the liabilities outweigh your assets, and it's supposed to be the other way around. So my net worth is negative 10,000. And it's okay. It's okay because now we know. Now we can make those financial decisions to the right path, right? Now we can start making those financial decisions to the right path and where we want to be with our life and how much in assets we want versus how much liabilities we want. Because we ultimately don't want any liabilities. We only want assets because cash, asset, cash. Have the cash to acquire assets that make more cash. So now your assets are generating cash, not your job, okay? Not you're leveraging people, none of that. But your assets are are working for you. And that's what we really want. Because when we retire, now we're going to be able to just pull from our assets as opposed to our liabilities. So that is in your tools section. Also, last but not least is your financial calculators. And I'm actually going to show you your financial calculators on tomorrow. So, guys, what do you think? Now that you have a financial plan, what next? Next, I want you guys to figure out where you stand. Your balance sheet, where are you? Where is your money going? What are your budgets? So you're going to create a financial forecast beginning in April, going to your cash flow manager and inputting that information. And you could do it just for April because it can get kind of time consuming. So that's why I'm just asking for April. Use the information from your debt elimination section of your strategist to create the parameters. And input if you have paid already for April, okay? If you have time, put in January to March and put your takeaways in the group. All right, that's your assignment. And shortly after this, I will be sending you that good old email. So make sure you check your spam, make sure you check your email so you can get that. Now, do I have any questions? I'm going to stop my screen. All right, I don't see any questions in the Q&A. I know it's a lot. I know you might have a question. All right, I don't see any questions in the Q&A. I don't see any questions in the chat. So if we don't have any questions, you guys have a marvelous, marvelous night. And I can't wait to see where you stand tomorrow. Okay, so make sure you do your homework. Make sure you do your financial forecast and your allocation of funds so you know where you're going. So you can even create more of that financial plan and have even more control over your finances. So you guys have a great night and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.